Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming, and something on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of In Case of Emergency, Cedric's Path. So y'all, we're getting into the end game now, so let's go ahead and jump right back in. Shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's-a go. Let's-a-go. Okay. Still wondering what... Let's see. What? Fuse, jump into the void, fuck you. Mail chat, like, it doesn't matter. I'll do it. Relief washes over Remus's face. I knew you would understand, Kieran. Taking a deep breath, you slowly turn to face the pit of darkness staring back at you, your toes hovering over the edge of the lip. Your heart pounds against your ribcage. You try to will yourself to walk forward, but your feet refuse to obey. Behind you, you feel Remus's touch against your back, reassuring you. You're not sure what happens, but one moment you're standing, and the next you're flailing through the air, spiraling and free-falling into the darkness below. Before the void swallows you whole, you hear the sound of boot heels racing against stone. You strain to hear anything else, shouting, someone calling your name, but the silence envelops you, and you hear nothing. And then you're back home. You take huge gulps of air after having the wind knocked out of you from your fall. But you don't belong here anymore. This isn't home, and maybe it never was. Something is different this time. The air in your dorm normally smells faintly of sweat and unwashed laundry, the scent suffocating with the windows closed during the muggy summers. But tonight, the air is clear and cool. The smell of clean linens catches in your nostrils, and your room is remarkably more organized. No overflowing trash can, no evidence of self-medicating by way of retail therapy, not even that chair for clean but not that clean clothes. If you didn't recognize a comforter on the bed and backpack in the corner, you would think you'd stepped into someone else's room. You have to go back. You know the route between your dorm and the philosophy department and Redoubt Hall like the back of your hand. Without a second thought, you're racing out the door and through the empty campus in the summer night. The air whips around your bare arms and thighs. Shit. Halfway across the quad, you realize two things. First, you're not wearing any clothes. You're in a ratty old band t-shirt and a pair of boxers because you had forgotten about insignificant things like modesty in your rush to leave. The second is that your ankle, exposed to the elements in a pair of green flip-flops, is entirely healed. What the hell? You reach down to tenderly grasp your ankle and feel nothing out of the ordinary. You try leaning some of your weight on it, like you haven't been putting triple that with every running step you took on concrete on the way here, but you don't feel anything. That's strange, but you have to keep moving. When you reach the front of Redoubt Hall, you rattle the glass doors at the base of the building. No luck, they're locked. Shit. Scanning the building, you identify your potential entrance points. On the ground floor are a set of glass doors, and a story up, an open window by a tree. I'm beside. Here goes nothing. Thank you. Water time. You're not built for climbing trees. Not since you lost your lankier preteen build indefatigable attitude. But desperation drives you to throw your body against the flaky bark of the tree, its trunk winding along the side of the building. You clench your thighs around the tree's trunk. Bark sloughs off with every shimmy up the tree and lands in your fur. Ow! A sharp chip of wood cuts into the pad of your paw. You pull out the chunk of wood between your teeth and spit it out, where it lands below you in a pile of dead leaves. It stings, and you can feel the wetness in the fur around your paw, but you'll live. Gritting your teeth, you shift your grip, and so you're pulling yourself up with the heel of your hand. You can see lights inside the building, probably a security measure. Luckily, the tree begins to slope into a flatter surface, letting you caterpillar yourself along its extended branches. There are leaves and twigs sticking out of your fur, probably bugs, too. You can only imagine what you look like to a custodian looking out the window right now. You worm yourself along the branch that runs closest to the window. It's probably 3 or 4 feet from your nose. Just enough that you can't reach it with one arm while still clinging to your branch. Stand on the branch. You try to shift your weight to your knees and heels, but forcing your weight onto a smaller area has the effect of the tree's branch creaking and dipping ominously. Uh-oh. Prepare to jump? There's only one thing you can do. The branch under your feet sways as you assess the distance between yourself and the open window. The opening is too small to dive through, not unless you wanted to clonk your head against glass like a bird in a window cleaner commercial, but you could probably grab the lip and pull yourself through. You bounce on the heels of your feet to give yourself some momentum, leaves and detritus raining on top of you from the upper branches. 3, 2, crack! Oh god. The branch snaps under you as you take off. No time to think. The first thing you feel is your body smash against the plaster of redoubt, the pain ringing through your ribs. But at least you haven't splattered yourself across the concrete below. Fortunately, your hands are gripping the ledge of the open window. Your heart leaps in your chest. You're so close. Pull yourself through. Your sides heave with the effort. It's like trying to pull yourself out of the deep end of the pool, sopping wet with 30 extra pounds of water in your fur. Pull yourself through. You strain again. Your flip-flops flailing against the wall as you try to find a grip. You manage to get your forearms through the window and your shoulders start to burn with lactic acid. Pull yourself through. You channel every huge guy at the gym who grunts louder than the sound of his barbells hitting the floor. It turns out they were onto something, because with your groaning, you're able to heave your chest onto the windowsill and squeeze yourself through the last bit of toothpaste in a tube. No longer capable of articulate speech, you catch your breath for a moment before pushing yourself off the ground, leaving a bloody smudge on the tile. You stumble through the classroom and into the hallway, where an alarm goes off as soon as you open the door from the inside. After a bit of meandering, you find the staircase and race down as you leave a trail of dead leaves and dirt behind you. Eventually, you find yourself in a familiar hallway. The exit sign at its end still blinks with a sickly green light, beckoning you forward like a light at the end of a dock. You stretch your arms out towards the literary symbol. Do you smell that? It's the smell of the American dream. Bull markets and bronze testicles. Hail Chad. My favorite part of The Great Gatsby was how Gatsby respected women. The hermeneutical quest for a symbolic literary truth is so last century. In this essay, I read the homosocial bond between Jay Gatsby and Nick Carraway through the lens of queer theory, a post-structuralist framework put forward by scholars such as... Eventually, you reach the emergency exit. Your hands close around the cold metal of the handle. You exhale. This is it. You need this door to open. You've never needed anything in your life more badly. If this lock doesn't give, you're almost afraid to try. It strikes that it might be better to never know than to know for certain. Try the door. The door gives under your touch, sliding forward. It's open. Your heart leaps in your throat. It's happening. This was all just a cosmic mistake. Everything is going to be fine. You take your first step forward, and... Hey, y'all, as y'all probably noticed, the game crashed, but I redid this. In that exact moment, it crashed again. The game is supposed to crash. Yeah, it's part of the story. Okay, that's pretty wild. Alright. With the void turned back, life in Peregrine slowly returns to normal. The villagers return to their town, ready to rebuild their homes and till their land. The castle halls bustle with a newly animated joy, and even the flowers in the garden seem to be in brighter bloom. Your friends make themselves busy attending to repairs and readjusting to castle life. Remus hints more than once at retirement, moving out into the newly rejuvenated countryside to settle down, grow grapes, and bottle wine. He invites you to come along with him. You don't think he's serious about retiring. He could never bring himself to leave this place, but the invitation to stay by his side seems genuine. The days pass without strife, and there's always something new to do or explore. Everything you were promised, every town, hill, valley, and dimple in Peregrine's landscape, is yours to explore as you wish. In the morning, you wake to golden sunlight streaming through the window of your bedroom in the castle. Right now. The weather is perfect. Just cool enough that your silk comforter is cozy around your shoulders, but not so cold as to dissuade you from rolling out of bed. The day awaits you. You're free to do whatever you want. For adventure. Down by the kitchens, you hear a strange commotion. You open a door to find Luke wrangling a herd of... bread? Animated loaves wriggle their bodies across a flour-covered stone floor as Luke haplessly chases after them. Did I miss an important memo, or is bread definitely not supposed to be alive? I'll give you 2 guesses, but I bet you could get the answer right in 1. A fat loaf of rye speeds just out of Luke's grasp and through your legs into the hallway. Luke crashes to the ground as he leaps for it and misses. Ooh, excuse me. Damn it! I really hope bread isn't supposed to be sentient. Imagine what that would mean for the vegetarians. Luke stands as he coughs up a plume of flour. Okay, so what did you do? First of all, I'm honored that you think I had something to do with this, because this absolutely is my fault. Second, it's really not the big deal that people think it is. I swear I wasn't trying to do this on purpose. I was just trying to teleport the bread from one end of the castle to the other. Please don't tell me this is a reference. And somewhere along the way, the bread came alive. Like, it lives, but way less exciting and way less murdery. Well, sort of, unless you're a celiac, in which case, oops. Luke wipes the sweat off his forehead, leaving a streak of flour across his stripes. A handful of dinner rolls finish their lap around the kitchen and bowl out the door. Hang on, is this stuff dangerous? To your waistline, maybe. I'll definitely knock you out of ketosis. Let me rephrase. Is the bread going to mutilate anyone beyond recognition? Not if we get this bread first, you know. You frown, and Luke dusts the flour from his paws. Okay, fine, it's probably not going to kill anyone, but, you know. Have you ever seen water buffalo during mating season? Not a stereotype, by the way. Ah! Luke blanches at the sound of the scream, and you make eye contact with each other at the same time. Hallway? Hallway. With a quick shared nod, the two of you race out the door together. Following the sound of screaming, you arrive at a harrowing scene. One of the servants is backed against the wall with a firing squad of sourdough facing him, hard baguettes holstered at their sides. Please, I have a family! The loaves rustle their hard crusts menacingly in response. Kieran, we have to do something! You're already on it. You pull your sword from the side and let out a ferocious yell as you swing at the bread. Unfortunately, the bread's crust is too hard to pierce, like a natural carapace protecting the bread's soft, gluten-bound interior. Your sword rings off it uselessly. Bro, why is this bread so fucking hard? Jesus. But now the row of sourdough has taken notice of you, and in uniform they all turn to aim their baguettes at you. Uh-oh! You wince in expectation of your body being battered by baguettes, but instead you hear the sound of crust bouncing dully off of metal. Shielding you is Wes, who shrugs off the assault and begins battering back at the bread with his bulky bulwark. I should have known! Hard breads obviously resist slashing damage. You want a bludgeoning weapon for this. To the armory! Luke darts off in the other direction, abandoning the rest of you. Wes stomps a final loaf under his boot, squishing its glutinous innards out between the cracks, and looks at you expectantly. Come on. We should go after Luke. Wait! Please don't leave me! What if the bread comes back? Wes rolls his eyes. Come on, we don't have time. Wes grabs you by the arm and drags you down the hallway, your feet scrambling on the stone to keep up. Sorry! As you race through the castle, you run into herds of rolls barreling down the halls like tumbleweeds. You narrowly dodge a barricade of multigrain by hurtling over it, your legs spinning in the air below you. A blast of fire a room on your left informs you that Luke has made it before you two. Watch it! Dashing into the armory, you spot Cedric fending off a swarm of pumpernickel with his sword. The smell of burning bread and spices hits your nostrils as Luke unleashes a stream of fire, only to get smacked in the face by a charred loaf of bread jumping through the flames. Hut, 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 hut! Alright, I'm gonna pause it right there. Let me know if I'm going in the right direction for a good Cedric ending, y'all. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!